We are the Knights of Awakening.
Hello, good morning and evening. We are the Knights of Awakening, broadcasting from our corner of the universe to yours. I am your host, Knight Justin, reaching out to all of you, our brothers and sisters, wherever you may call home. Hello out there. Welcome to the KOA radio program. I'm your host, Knight Justin. I know it's been quite some time since we produced any radio content for you guys out there, and for that, I am sincerely sorry. But before we get into this new series that I'm very excited about, I wanted to talk to you about where we were, where we have been, and what the future holds for us. I think we owe it not only to you, but to the people who have helped shape the KOA in its past, present, and into its future. So, some of you know who we are. Some of you have been with us for a long time. But for the sake of those who have not been with us, and maybe this is the first time you're hearing a radio broadcast from the KOA was a multifaceted online radio talk platform, and our main focus was helping people navigate mind, body, and soul through a multitude of different radio shows hosted from a diverse set of perspectives and backgrounds. The KOA was born and launched in May of 2009 by myself and my very good friend David Edge. June 12th, 2009 was our debut show, and it aired live at Blog Talk Radio, hosted, of course, by myself and David Edge. And man, what a time that was. After about 171 episodes, and adding 3 more branded shows to the KOA, Dissonance, The Dark Aspect, which was hosted by Chaos, the Ashland Knights radio show, hosted by Ashland Master Derek Thompson, and The Labyrinth, hosted by Charles McBride. We left Blog Talk Radio in around June or July of 2012. 2012 to 2014, the KOA built an online radio program that was hosted and produced from us on an exclusive platform that we built from the ground up, and it was hosted to KOAaxiom.com. In that time span, we also added 3 more hosts and 3 more shows. Michael Hannigan, Jordan Bates, and Alethea Thompson all hosted their own branded shows within the KOA family. We also did many side projects along the way. The KOA was lightly funded back in those days. The KOA was lightly funded, but the driving force was the countless hours that was devoted by those involved in the project. And when I say countless hours, I'm talking thousands of hours. From show prep, to actual on-air time, to after-show stuff that has to get done, and the building and implementing of the website, the radio stream, stuff like that. So it was a lot of hard work. At around the end of 2014, life stepped in and kind of dealt us all a new hand. Most everyone parted ways for one reason or the other, and in time I decided to put the KOA on ice so that the present life issues could be dealt with. That's what the KOA was up until 2014. So what's been going on? We have kept the Facebook page alive throughout the break. I decided to take the website down after a while as the radio side of the KOA took a break for some financial reasons, as well as respecting the wishes of a few of the former hosts who asked me to take down their shows. And I did so because I have a lot of respect for them, and they showed me a lot of respect in return, and they were loyal, and I owed it to them. So in the background, over the past, I'd say maybe 5-6 months, we have been rebuilding the KOA from the ground up. In the coming months, we will be partnering with the Order of Ashland Knights and using a web space that they have dedicated to us to use. In the meantime, we'll be posting blogs, pictures, and recorded shows like this one to our YouTube channel and Facebook page, and anywhere else we can find a place to park it. We will be starting off a little smaller than we were before, But as we continue the building phase, we'll be adding more and more content. The future of the KOA. Once our web space has been built, we will start live shows once again as we have in the past. We'll probably still continue to offer pre-recorded shows. Doing the live streams require a lot of time and a lot of effort, and sometimes we just can't, because of work-life schedules, things like this, we just can't get a show live. But once the web space is built, we will do whatever we can to get those streaming live as we have before. We also have plans for several new additions to the KOA that we did not have before. And as they are built and implemented, we will share more details. But I am very excited for a lot of the new things that are coming out for the KOA. And hopefully you'll be excited too once we share those details with you. Of course, new programming and new hosts will be added as we continue to rebuild and grow. But the growing process is going to be slow. I'll be adding a lot of content. I'll be adding a lot of shows. And as we go along, we'll start to build up that repertoire of shows and host and try to get back to where we were when we had a large amount of perspective from different angles. And one thing that I'm very passionate about regarding the future of the KOA is an aggressive community outreach. That will be a priority for us. In the past, we primarily catered to the Jedi community, and we will continue to reach out to our brothers and sisters in the Jedi community going forward. But we will also seek out new communities to branch out to. New perspectives with a broader reach that will allow us to provide new learning and teaching opportunities for not only us, but our audience, you. And of course, the future is now. This recorded broadcast is the first in a few years, and I have no plans to slow down from here. All right, that was kind of a quick little what happened to us, where we've been, what's going on, what's happening in the future that I wanted to share with you. I know it was kind of short, and I know there wasn't probably a whole lot of information for you. But trust me when I say this, we're working very hard to get information out as things become more solid, and as we build those things, you will know more through the Facebook page. So today I'll be a launching point for a new series in the KOA. It is titled The Road to Recovery and New Beginnings. Today we'll be talking part 1, which will be just a kind of an introduction to the series, a launching point. Kind of fitting that both myself and the KOA find ourselves at a point of reevaluation, new beginnings. The timing of it couldn't have been more perfect, I guess. Both of us trying to heal and become stronger and better than we were before. Those of you who are friends with me on Facebook, on my personal Facebook page, you may know that about a month ago I suffered a severe accident that left me with multiple fractures in my left leg. One of those fractures actually almost came out of the skin. 2 torn tendons and a severely dislocated and separated ankle. I underwent a surgery already to repair everything, and I'll probably have 1 or 2 more smaller surgeries to remove some of the hardware that I won't need after 4 or 6 months or whatever. A lot like the KOA suffered a sort of fracturing and splintering just a few short years ago, forcing those that stuck around to repair and rebuild it. Over the years, the KOA had enjoyed decent success. I mean, we certainly met many of the goals that I had in mind. It wasn't financially successful, although I think in part it wasn't really built to be financially successful. We certainly hoped that we could sustain it financially, but that just didn't work out. And just like life, a sudden change of wind caused much of it to become crashing down, leaving those of us who were here wondering just what the hell happened. It brought us to a point we had to stop and reevaluate, and it was time to stop and let it heal. I was talking about the timing and kind of the coincidence, if you will. I don't believe in coincidences, but the coincidence, if you will, of how I kind of suffered the same fate as the KOA. I mean, it didn't kill me, but it certainly left me broken and unable to do a lot of the things I wanted to do. In all my years, I'd never been injured like this before. I've always been strong, smart, capable, and careful enough to avoid stuff like this, even though I spent most of my adult life working in jobs and environments where injuries like this and much worse are common. And in my personal life, I've always been the shoulder, the rock, and the foundation that everybody kind of came to and stood on and looked to for guidance and help and a place to stand. In my short life, I have survived being stabbed, shot at, been involved in riots and chaotic melees and brawls where everything not nailed down to the floor had now become a weapon, and where physical altercation was almost a certainty every single day. So when I broke my leg while performing such a stupid little mundane task as simply walking across a parking lot, it was something that I had a lot of trouble understanding and coming to terms with. I mean, how the hell does this happen? How do I survive so many potential brushes with death and or serious bodily harm just to be done in by a stupid little patch of invisible ice and completely wreck an important part of my body? I mean, I need it to walk and run, but more importantly, I need it for my quality of life, but also my livelihood. I mean, if I can't walk, then I can't work. And it's been about a month since I broke my leg. And I've had a month to go through the surgery, and I've had a couple of weeks of healing now. But I tell you, as I sat there within, I'd say, the first week, I was unable to do hardly anything. And I really felt helpless for the first time in my life. I mean, like I said, I've always been capable. I've always been strong. I've always been the one that got stuff done. And here I was, sitting here, not being able to do anything, but feel sorry for myself, of course. And because of my reliance on strength, will, and raw power, I am now reminded of just how very human I am, almost a month later. How easily even the strongest among us can be broken when we forget the rest of ourselves. When we neglect certain important things in our lives. Pride and fear take over, revealing themselves as the culprits, forcing me personally to reevaluate and to not only heal my damaged body, but my mind and spirit as well. I've been faced with lessons long forgot, and I will share them with you throughout the course of this series. The reason I titled this series the way I did, because it's both a period of recovery for not only myself, but the KOA as well. New beginnings are on the horizons for both of us. And with a fresh perspective, a fresh outlook, and a return to basics, I am certain we can overcome any obstacle put forth in front of us. This is not only a launching point for the KOA to start anew, but a fresh outlook for me as well, personally. And for those of you who know me, I know it might seem silly that a big tough guy like me would sit here and complain about breaking my leg. I know it seems kind of a normal thing, and maybe it's normal to most people, but like I said, I've never been brought down like this before. I've never been humbled in front of myself because of something like this. I have experienced fear in ways that I had never even thought that I could experience. I have been forced to look at things like gratitude, humbleness, patience. I mean, it sounds silly to me too. You have no idea how many times I had thought about just deleting everything and not even doing this and just trying to come up with something else. But for some reason, it seems like this is what I need to do. And like I said, throughout this series, we're going to explore some lessons that I had forgotten and that I have been faced with because I have been brought down to myself. And I talked about some of those already, humility, gratitude, but I also talk about mindfulness, compassion, empathy, and probably a few others. I know this was kind of a short introduction. Have no fear. Each show in this series will be released with a blog post to accompany it. Probably some pictures and some other related material. If you like that stuff, check out our Facebook page and make sure you put a like in there. Feel free to share that material with anyone you think that would enjoy reading it. If you're new to the KOA, head on over to our Facebook page and give us a like. I hope to see a lot of posts and a lot of comments. Check out our YouTube page also. Just type in Knights of Awakening in the search bar and you'll see our little symbol up there. Like and subscribe there as well, please. I hope you'll join me throughout this series, and I really do hope that you will enjoy it. Let us share and learn together, and as always, until next time, awaken the night within.